All right, guys, we're ready for lesson 11.7 in math, and that is adding hours and minutes. All right, so there's two ways we're going to do this today. So I'm going to show you one option of writing a number sentence and adding it that way, and then I'm going to show you how to do it using a clock. All right, so we're going to use that whiteboard strip thing I showed you a while back where I got to draw on the whiteboard. So let's say when we are adding, using a number sentence, we need to make sure we are lining up the hours and the minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and write hours here. Then over here, I'm going to put an M for minutes. And then we'll do that again down here. Hours. That's what happens when Mrs. King tries to use her mouse to do it. Hours and minutes, right? So here's your example. And usually you'll add hours and when you're getting a word story. So this is our word story. My friend did laundry for 3 hours and 20 minutes last weekend and 2 hours and 10 minutes this weekend. How much time did she spend doing laundry? So I'm going to think, my question is, how much time did I spend doing laundry? And in order to know that and find the answer, I have to know, well, how many hours and minutes did I spend the first time? And how many hours and minutes did I spend the second time? So the first time I spent 3 hours and 20 minutes. And the next time I spent 2 hours and 10 minutes, okay? So I need to add that together. Now I am going to add the minutes first, like we usually do, okay? So we're gonna add our minutes. Well, I know 0 and 0 is 0, and 2 plus 1 is 3. I can also think, well, 20 minutes plus 10 minutes is 30 minutes. So we're gonna keep our M here for minutes. I'm gonna bring down our H for hour. And then 3 hours plus 2 hours equals 5 hours. So I spent 5 hours, 30 minutes doing laundry. Now, I'm going to challenge you here because sometimes when I add my minutes, I might end up with more than 60 minutes. And when that happens, I have to actually regroup because we are no longer in a base 10, we're in a base 6. And I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but that means that whenever my minutes is more than 60, I have to regroup it to an hour and figure out how many minutes is left. So let me give you an example. So here we have hours, and we'll do minutes. We'll do another hour. Well, let's just do all of our hours. That way we won't be moving all over the board. And then we'll do minutes again. I know it's you guys' favorite to watch me draw this. Okay, so let's say that we were in training for a marathon. Okay, and we're not the fastest runner, so our training is going to take longer. So on the first day, well, maybe we could be fast runners, who knows? The first long run, because when you train for a marathon, you have to do what they call long runs. The first time our long run was 2 hours, 40 minutes. 2 hours and 40 minutes, okay? The next long run, we were sore, so we ran for 3 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so when I add these, I always add my minutes first. Well, 0 and 0 is 0, and 4 and 3 is 7. Oh, whoa, that was crazy. What did I do there? I can't clear, but where's my eraser? Okay, you guys are just gonna have to pretend that looks better than it does. It's 70. Now, 70 minutes is more than 1 hour. How many minutes more? So in my mind, I have to think, okay, 70, we know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So 70 minus 60 is 10. So I'm gonna cross this off and put a 10 here. And I'm gonna regroup that hour, that 60 minutes that I took away from my 70. He's gonna regroup over here to the hours column. So now I have 1 plus 2 hours is 3 hours. And 3 hours plus 3 hours is 6 hours. So I ran, on my 2 long runs, I ran for 6 hours and 10 minutes. Okay? So that's one way. Another way is to actually use your clock. And I'm going to show you using my clock right here. So our first problem was we ran, it's going to be kind of almost presented a different way. All right. So let's say it is 7:25. Okay. And I want to add to that 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to start, this time I'm going to start with my hours. I need to go 2 hours around. So that means I have to go by 25 2 times. So I'm going to go, there's 1 hour and 2 hours. Okay, so there's my 2 hours. So now my clock is reading 9:25, about, if it doesn't move. Now I said it was 2 hours, 15 minutes later. So now I have to move my clock 15 minutes. So we're gonna go 5, 10, 15. So 2 hours and 15 minutes after 7:25 is now 9:40. All right, so when we do it on a clock, we're gonna move our, well, you could move your minutes first. You decide. I prefer to do my hours first. I think it's easier. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's say it is 1:10. And I want to know what time will it be in 1 hour, 35 minutes. So I said you could do minutes first, right? So we can start at 1:10 and move 35 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So in 35 minutes, it will be 1:45 or 1:45. And now I need to go 1 full hour, so I have to go all the way around. So my minute hand ends up back at the 45, and it is 2:45. So 1 hour, 35 minutes beyond 1:10 is 2:45. All right, so I know today's assignment is trickier. And I'm going to show that to you. And it's using more of this concept than the other concept I showed you where you're using your number line. But I do want you to think about this both ways. So here is today's assignment. You're going to be given a time like I just did on your clock where it says it is now 3:05. And we're going to add 3 hours, 40 minutes. So this is where I suggest you get out your clock that I gave you and made for you. And you're going to set your clock so that it says 3:05. Then you're going to, it says 40 minutes, so I can move my clock 40 minutes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So on my paper, I'm going to grab the line, and my minute hand is going to go to the 9. And then I'm going to move it now, since I'm adding 3 hours to it. Remember, I have to come back to this 45 3 times. So here's 1 hour, because I went 1 time around the clock. Oh, you can't see this, can you? Because I'm still sharing my screen. So I went 1 hour. Then I go a second hour. Now I'm gonna go a third hour and notice where my hour hand is pointing. Yeah, it is now, it is not 7:45. My hour hand is between the 7 and the 6. So I'm gonna go back to the 6. It is 6:45. So on my assignment, I am going to draw my hour hand, grab that line, and draw my hour hand so it's pointing. And notice I made it. It could be a little longer, couldn't it? So that it is right between the 6 and the 7. So this says 6:45. So that is what you are doing today in your assignment, okay? If you have any questions, please reach out to me. It's a more challenging concept with time, but you can do it. Oh, I should show you. I know, you guys are like, Mrs. King, stop. Okay, I'm gonna show you on a whiteboard how this would look. So it said the time was, let's just say the time is 7:10. That's what time it is right now, 7:10. And I'm gonna go ahead and just write it with hours and minutes. And I wanna know what time will it be 2 hours and 40 minutes later, right? This is what we just did on our worksheet. If I were to write it out with a number sentence, this is what it would look like. So now it says, okay, minutes, we'd have 0, 4 and 1 is 5, so we have 50 minutes, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So the time on my clock should be 9 hours, 9 hours, 50 minutes. So I'm gonna, on my clock, I'm going to draw my hand so it shows 9:50. Okay, so I can use addition with today's worksheet. All right, well, have fun, work hard, and reach out to me if you have any questions.